Welcome back, everyone, to Hidden Treasure. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Brad, and today we're going to be talking about intelligence versus enlightenment. So, this is going to be a lot of fun.
This is going to be a good one.
All right.
All right. So, what do you mean intelligence versus enlightenment, Brad?
Yeah. So, when we talk about intelligence, we're talking about folks that are smart. The world we live in from an early age, we're
Mm-hmm.
taking tests so they can determine where we're at scholastically. Um, we're told, hey, if you want to be successful, you need to go to college. You need to get higher education, higher learning, and one of the things that Jimmy and I both noticed is that the ego ties right into intelligence, right?
Oh yeah, and let us just say right up front, we're not knocking the intellect at all. And I love it, I respect it, and we both do.
Right.
But it has a limitation to it. We all know that. We say as humans we're limited, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard anyone that didn't agree with that statement, that as a human we're limited. Well, this hidden treasure, the enlightenment we're talking about, it's not. It's different. And the intellect, like Brad said, it likes to logically and in a pattern figure things out. It's like it needs to be logical, reasonable, and analytical. And that you can get stuck in that, can't you?
There's a parallel between intelligence and pridefulness.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the ego is prideful. The ego always wants to be right.
Right.
It's like Jimmy said, there's limitations. It's finite. It's not infinite. Jimmy and I are going to try to keep things very simple here.
Mm-hmm.
But the mind, and especially the intellect, is wants to be complicated. All right. We have something called an IQ, right? IQ is supposed to determine how smart you are.
Mm-hmm.
People that have high IQs are smart, and they're perceived to have an advantage over people with less IQs.
That's right.
I would beg to differ. I would say that I would say that people with high IQs certainly have that ability, but when we talk about peace, love, joy, and happiness, we don't ever throw in there high IQ or intelligence, do we?
No, no.
But because it's limited.
It is limited now. It's great. We're not knocking it. Never would. I mean, we built this world on it, and it's done a pretty good job. And we're not saying, we're not advocating that you ditch it. As we all need the intellect. It's great. It's wonderful. We just don't want it to run us all the time.
Right. Well, the enlightenment part is the hidden treasure, and that's the
Right.
light that's connected directly to God. Okay, and so we're talking about something that trumps or outweighs intelligence, and it's called wisdom. There's a collective consciousness going on, and as Jimmy and I have talked about before, we're all connected, and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and we truly are. How is it that you can think something or you can hear somebody say something on the other side of the world that lines up perfectly with what you've been thinking or what
Mm-hmm.
or what you've been exposed to? It's because of this collective consciousness that comes from the light that's inside you, that's connected to God, the Creator.
Right. Even animals have it. They trained some monkeys over here in the states one time. This is years ago. I read about it, and they taught them to do something they'd never done before. And 6 months later, the monkeys on the other side of the world were doing it. They were like they'd never been exposed to it.
Right.
They just picked it up through the collective.
So pretty incredible.
Pretty much.
We've talked about this too. Is that the common sense that comes from wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
man, when you're connected, when you're in the flow, and you started thinking about all the options and opportunities that you have in life, holy cow, when you become aware, you realize you have a ton more options, good options to choose from, than when you're not in the light. When you rely just on your own intelligence, it's limited.
Right.
There's a really good opportunity for you to make a bad decision when that's all you're relying on.
Right. And Brad, that's you just hit the nail on the head when it comes to this topic.
Yes.
Because what this I've learned for myself, I can only speak for me, and is that my IQ was not that high. It was okay, but it was nothing off the charts for sure. And I used to make a lot of dumb choices and do a lot of dumb things that even left me wondering what is wrong with me. And
Right.
I've had people. I had a guy one time get in my face and say, "What is wrong with you?" In high school, I never forgot it. And my mother used to ask that. And anyway, the bottom line was what was wrong with me is I wasn't tapped into my common sense.
Right.
I was tied into the nonsense and the good sense, but not enough of the wisdom and common sense. And I never until this happened to me, and I started choosing this hidden treasure and like the guide my life. And of course, you have to learn how to do that. But then all of a sudden, I noticed, hey, I had more wisdom. I started making better decisions about everything.
Yeah.
Not perfect, but better.
My story is similar. Is that when I became aware, when I became enlightened, and I knew I was more than just human, I was a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It really opened the door for me too. And this should maybe be good news for a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have to be the best student. You don't have to be the smartest.
And you don't have to have the highest IQ.
No, to be able to enjoy this life,
Mm-mm.
to have the peace, love, joy, and happiness in your life, to be able to spread that to others, to be able to be more loving, accepting, that is what this is all about. And so, wisdom is infinite, and it's something that we all have the ability to take advantage of. But we need to kind of back up and realize, look here, the world that we live in, what we've been taught as far as intelligence, grades. We've almost been programmed that that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to give us success. That's not true.
It's important, but it's not the most important,
Well, I
like you
agree.
just said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like Jimmy said, not knocking intelligence. Look here,
Nope. Not knocking.
there's the world we live in today is because there's been a lot of smart men and women throughout the world that have created things, and I know when God's looking down, he's thinking, my goodness, I am so proud of these people, right? But they the part that's important, the most important, is you need to be connected to Him, and the way to do that is to understand that you're more than just human.
Right.
Right. And going back to the theme as far as just trying to keep things simple, um, you know, um, spirit is simple. And it's simple because God created it that way. So we'll understand it. Everybody will understand it. In intelligence and man-made creation is very complicated. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one way to kind of differentiate between spirit and light versus man-made and ego.
Yeah, and I don't know if you like acronyms, but I got one for you on spirit. It's spirit can see past ignorance right into truth, and ignorance
I
is
love that.
you like that, and the soul is the source of unconditional love and sees only unconditional love. Now the ego enjoys giving opinions and edges God out. So
Hmm.
take it for what I mean. It's interesting how those worked out like that, but. Yeah, what we're trying to show you and remind you, because you already know this. We can't tell you anything you don't know. By the way, we can only remind you of things you know that maybe, like us, you'd forgotten or covered up.
What we have found is that when you do tap into that hidden treasure and you have a direct connect with God, uh, life is unbelievably good.
It's so much easier, smoother, more flowing, carefree. You're not so uptight.
Well, exactly, and we've talked about how we're all connected. Is in intelligence creates independence
Mm-hmm.
because the ego, it's all about me, me, me. Spirit, you realize that you can lean and rely on other people, and you can lean on your Creator to help you through, and that's where it opens the door for all these good opportunities, good decisions, good options for us.
The spirit's more about us. You mentioned ego, me,
Yeah.
and the spirit's more like us. It sees that we're all in this together. It sees that the way we treat each other has an impact on how we treat ourselves.
Yeah, it eliminates a lot of conflict and
It
it
really
improves our
does.
relationships. And man, if we can love one another and get along with each other better, the world's going to be a better place. So one of the things I think about, I know sometimes when I'm making a decision based on intellect, I, sometimes I feel like I'm swimming upstream, and it's very difficult. And that's just a little flag for me, in awareness and being mindful that, hey, this could be a bad decision, right?
Yeah.
When you're in the flow, it's almost like being on a lazy river. You're in the
Yep.
tube, you got your feet up, and
Just
you're just in the
tootling
flow.
along.
And that's when you're connected to the light, connected to the
Right.
spirit. That's that wisdom. And man, it's like you said, you can feel good about being in your own skin.
Oh, that's the best. You're comfortable in your own skin again. The bottom line is our treasure, this hidden treasure, is the greatest treasure you'll ever discover on this planet. I wouldn't take $1 billion for what we know now, what we're aware of, and what we're living and practicing learning how to live in it and to stay connected to it. But man, it's priceless. I really wouldn't take $1 billion. You can have it because I'd have to go back to being miserable.
That's true. And intelligence wants to find differences,
Mm-hmm.
and the light wants to celebrate differences and be more loving and accepting.
That's a
And
good word. Celebrate the differences.
so being connected to the light will open that door. Like Jimmy said, being intelligent is not a bad thing. Hey, there's a lot of creature comforts. Thank goodness.
We salute you if you're
Yeah,
very intelligent.
inventors. There's people that are out there working on cures for disease and all
Engineers building fabulous buildings. And
technology galore.
yeah,
So we
yeah,
certainly need that.
yes, we do.
All we're wanting to bring attention to is that there's something larger, something that is completely infinite that will help you with your decisions. And if you can connect to that, that light is going to help you out in this world.
The light's going to get you through things that the ego can't get you through.
Right.
That's the bottom line. It'll help you with things that you're stuck in, like I was and you were. We were stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and that's have you felt like you just kind of repeat yourself? It's almost like Groundhog Day when it comes to your life, and we keep saying we want to get over a bad habit, but we can't. We're stuck. Well, this light, this treasure, will definitely help you create some more positive habits, won't it?
I agree.
Help you move on past what you've been stuck in.
Right.
And we need that help because this is not easy, this life. It's challenging to be human. No matter what happens with the hidden treasure, tapping into it, it'll help you get through anything a little bit with a little more grace. Good job.
All right. Well, hey, if you like this video, please hit like. Please subscribe if you'd like to see some more.
And peace, joy, love, and light be with everybody always.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll see you next time.